Welcome back everyone. Today we're going to look at how to easily cheese and defeat the Scadutree Avatar, which can be quite difficult if you're just going in not knowing anything about this boss. Now be mindful that this is just one way to cheese him because it's just one of his weaknesses, right? Which is ice. His other weakness is fire. But none of that matters because unless you defeat him at Souls level 1, no hit, no items, no weapons, Dance Dance Revolution platform controller blindfolded while bouncing up and down on a cactus while doing one-legged squats with a baby bear on your back, then you're still a casual. Sorry to say. Let's talk about this guy's weaknesses because it is a pretty tough fight if you go in without knowing this stuff because he has 3 health bars just like Sister Freed, so you know, it's fun. If you look at the resistances, he's immune to bleed, sleep, and madness. He is weak to poison, he is weak to scarlet rot, but he's even weaker to frostbite. So it takes less damage to proc frostbite on him than poison or scarlet rot, for example. If you look at the resistance chart that I put up for you guys, the numbers is just the amount of damage you need to do in order to proc that damage type. So with that said, I could have used a fire weapon. Of course I could have because he's weak to fire, but because I like to spread around my ice spear is OP propaganda, well, that's what we're going to use. So for this cheese, you need the ice spear Ash of War and you need the partisan spear. To get this ice spear, you need to go to the base game in the Liurnia of the Lakes area and take the Gate Town Bridge side of Grace. There will be a mini boss there, a knight on a horse, just defeat him and you'll get the Ash of War. For the partisan spear, you actually need to farm some enemies, so Godric Knights will drop them in front of Gatefront Ruins, the Red Mane Knights in Fort Gale will drop them, Cuckoo Knights in the East Raya Lucaria Gate, the Lendel Knights in London Royal Capital, of course, and by the Mausoleum Knights on horseback in the Deep Root Depths. But it's more than most likely if you've played the base game a ton, you probably will have the Partisan Spear. Now make sure that it's upgraded to level 25, don't come in here telling me like Ash of War doesn't do any damage when it's like +2, right? Partisan Spear needs to be +25. Next, you need the right talismans. So the 2 that you absolutely need for this build, for this cheese, is the Magic Scorpion Charm and the Shard of Alexander. Scorpion Charm will make you do more magic damage, and I'll go more into depth in that with the build. And the Shard of Alexander will make Ice Spear do more damage. So for the build, I just used the Elden Ring build planner to show you guys with the soft caps, you know, not to offend anyone, because apparently people still don't know how to make builds in 2024. So you need your vigor. Let's just put 60, right? The soft cap is 40, but you know, for the for the DLC you need a little bit more. Mind 35. Now Ice Spear only costs 15 FP, so it's not that much, right? But you know, 35 and above is fine. Endurance 44, Strength 55, and Intelligence 50. Now, Strength and Intelligence are your 2 damage types for this build because you will be scaling with magic and frost damage, which scales with Intelligence, and your spear scales better with Strength. So both of these stats will increase the damage that you do. So this is just an example of a build at level 200, right? You can adapt it to whatever level you are. Because if we look at the Partisan Spear, it does both physical damage and a magic damage because magic and frost are kind of intertwined together. And physical damage scales with strength, and as I said, magic damage scales with intelligence. So that is why you need both of these stats to be your main damage stats in order to do the most amount of damage possible. Now that you've listened to my How to Make a Build 101, let's talk about armor. Because the Scadutree Avatar in Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, he actually does blood loss damage. Now to make sure that you do not get blood loss procced on you, or that it takes a lot of damage for blood loss to be procced on you, you need to wear the proper armor set. So what you do is you go in your armor and then you sort them by resistances. You start from the top and then you just go down until you find the armor piece that has the highest value in robustness, because robustness is the stat that prevents a frostbite and hemorrhage from being procced on you, right? The highest ones is actually the entire Radon set with the mushroom helmet because it has more robustness than the Radon helmet. But if you want to go for the full Radon set, you know, go ahead. It's not like 2 or 3 points that are going to make a massive difference. So that should help you mitigate some of the blood loss buildup during the fight. That's it for the build and the weapons. So let's talk about the fighting strategy, which is also really important. The way you do this, the easiest way possible, is you summon the Mimic Tear and make sure you only have one weapon and you only have Ice Spear, right? Which will make your Mimic Tear use it. So if you're both throwing this freaking Ice Spear right in that Sunflower's face, bro, it's going to do a massive amount of damage. And you're going to go through the first and second health bar really quickly. Now, you could also just as well use a Stomp and then use a Stomp Talisman for this fight. However, I found that they're just too slow, and like, yeah, Ice Spear doesn't have the most massive range ever, right? But you don't need to be like right in its butt for it to hit, which is why I don't like the stomping skills so much. You know, it might be easier if you have the Mimic Tear because he can have the aggro and then you can charge up Dancing Lion's Stomp, right? And honestly, there isn't too much to this fight, right? Like, the only thing you need to know is that when his arm gets glowy and he hits you with it, there will be thorns that will appear after. You need to dodge them unless you want bleed procced on you. When he does a spin, all you need to do is just go right into him, onto his stem, or whatever you want to call it. He does it twice, you know, very, very, very easy to avoid. When he turns into Vin Diesel and starts running you over like he's a freaking car 3 times in a row, and it's just really easy to dodge. You can't really punish him during because he goes too far out of the range of the Ice Spear for that. So make sure you dodge it 3 times and that you wait after he does the spinny thing so you can get in on him and throw Ice Spear right in his freaking face. Other than that, he will throw some projectiles in phase 2 and 3, so second and third health bar. Really easy to dodge, you know, just roll left and right. He has a grab attack that does a lot of damage, however, like, he needs to hit you full on with his stupid face. So as long as you're like sticking to his stem and under his head, you should technically be fine. It's kind of like Grundir a lot in Dark Souls 3 if you fought that boss, you know. As long as you stick right to him, it's not really that hard. Other than that, you know, the usual hit him, don't get hit, don't die, you know. But I really hope that this strategy helped you. Seriously, Ice Spear has made a lot of fights in these DLC freaking easy for me. Rolana, Mesmer, and now the stupid Sunflower. So if you have any other tips on how to cheese this guy, put them down in the comments below for everyone to see. Also, I kind of started doing a screenshot contest on Discord, so the link to the Discord is on the page and I think it's on the description of every video. So if you just want to have some fun and join the screenshot contest, the winner will have the screenshot featured in the video. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all very soon.